Guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Olivia Gold and I'm back with another video today. If you don't know, I am the founder of Life of a Marketing Girl. Get comfortable because this is going to be a really good video. I wanted to do a video on personal branding because I think today we're in such a competitive market. It is really hard to stand out and really showcase your offering, your value, whether that's you looking for a job, you're pitching yourself as a freelancer, or even just trying to network in a world that is just so saturated with so many other people with the same skill sets as you. But you have to remember, you are you for a reason, and you have, value to offer someone else, whether that's from a personal perspective or a professional perspective. And that's where personal branding comes in. And it's actually been something I've really enjoyed over the years. When I came out of uni, figuring out what to do, personal branding is actually what helped set me apart and get me job roles, get me in certain meetings, get me at certain events. So I just thought it would only make sense just to share tips and tricks just to help you guys evolve your personal branding. Make sure you're tight on that so you can get the job you want, get the opportunity you want, and just kind of seize what's out there for you. I've got a couple of notes I wanted to talk through. So as I mentioned, as a marketer, personal branding is so important. It sets you apart and makes someone really realize, I want to work with her, I want to work with him in whatever capacity, because there's something that you offer that they want, and it's great. And you have to remember, we're dealing with people in business, so it's so important that you create connections, and you do that by building your personal brand and setting up your portfolio, so to speak, so people can understand who you are, what you offer, and actually have your details to contact you and work with you. So we're going to get right into it. The key thing is, when you're building your personal brand, of course I'm going to go to social media, set up your channels, all of that, but more than anything, you actually kind of have to take a step back and actually look at yourself and kind of look at your criteria, look at your skill set, look at your experiences, and also look at the direction that you want to go in. And by doing that, you really need to define your unique value proposition. It's about what really sets you apart from other people, and there's two ways that helps you define that. One of them is your target audience, and I think it makes it really super clear. So who are you trying to target? So for example, if you are a marketing student or a recent marketing graduate and you want to get a job in fashion, then it's kind of clear who your audience is. You are looking at fashion brands, retailers, small, medium, size businesses that are online, e-commerce businesses. That's your audience. You want to talk to founders, you want to talk to HR, you want to talk to that industry. And it's super clear that you are really clear on that, of just talking to everyone. And I think that's super, super key. Or if you are a freelancer and you actually just want to continue freelancing and you actually want to get more opportunities, you also need to figure out where your audience is. That would be you going on LinkedIn more, connecting with other businesses, other fellow freelancers, or getting in touch with agencies who actually work with freelancers. So something simple as that actually just kind of narrows your funnel and what you should be focusing on, instead of just being everywhere and anywhere. And I totally understand that. Currently, it is a really saturated market. Everyone is online. Everyone is positioning himself as an expert. So where does that leave you? I think, don't worry about that. Don't focus on what anyone else is doing. This is about you trying to target who you're trying to speak to, and that is crossing out everyone on the list and just focusing on your key target audience. What that does is this actually helps you identify potential clients, potential employers, and potential partners, and that's super, super key. Your brand statement. So for example, if me and you were stuck in a lift for 15 seconds and I'm like, hey, I'm Olivia, what's your name? And I'm like, okay, what do you do? That's where you deliver your brand statement. I always say, hi, I'm Olivia. I'm a marketer with 12 years experience. I currently work in the FMCG industry as a marketing lead for UK and Europe, and I'm also the founder of Like a Marketing Girl, and it's a community that helps women evolve in the industry with learning, insights, and networking. That's my statement. Probably sounds a bit long as I'm talking about it, but in the lift, I wouldn't be so formal as I'm talking to you guys now. Probably a bit more conversational. Someone may interrupt and be like, oh my God, that's cool. It can be quite fluid, but as long as you're super, super tight in terms of what your offering is and someone asks you a question, it's just easier to connect and actually find, similarities or connections, or they may know someone that does something similar to what you do. It kind of opens up the doorways to other conversations, which is great. It really covers defining your unique proposition. And I think it's so key to do that, specifically if you get bogged down in terms of, oh my God, this person's doing this person's doing that. do not worry, there's space for all of us. But what needs to be super clear is what is your unique proposition, so you know who you are and you know your added value within the industry, specifically when you are actually speaking to potential employers, clients and brand partners. Get that out the way. We're clear, you've got your brand statement and you know who your audience is. Tick. Okay, on to the next one. Then once you're clear on that, you can actually start to develop your online presence across Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn, and that also evolves into your own platforms. And when I mean that is your professional website. So using me as an example, I was in uni. Something I was doing as I was working part-time is I was taking pictures as a blogger. So that's also like a love of mine, as I mentioned. Blog, fashion and beauty content. So I had my own website, www.olivia-gold.com. Go on it, it's still live. And after a while, I was getting more interest in the industry, but I was finding it hard to get a job. So I actually started to blog things in marketing that I really liked. And that's how Life of a Marketing Girl was actually originally birthed. So it's funny, I didn't realize I was building my personal brand. I was just trying to put myself out there more, that people could see, like, it's not just my CV, it's something that I'm really about. Instantly, something that I continue to educate myself on. So I used to blog things that I really liked, whether that was looking at campaigns. So Nike had a really good campaign at the time, so I do a blog on that. If you go on the website, it's actually still there. So this is no joke, I'm not just talking for the sake of talking. This was something that I genuinely did, and it's been a part of my growth and a part of my journey. My website, oliviagold.com, I also have a separate page which is Life of a Marketing Girl. That was me, that was my professional website, and I would have it on my CV. So when I had interviews, you could actually go on that link and find out more about me, whether it's at my interest in fashion, because originally I got into the fashion industry. They could see that I had a personal passion for it, and also I had a personal zeal for marketing in general, because I was talking about it and actually giving some insights from what I was seeing out there. I really encourage you guys to create a personal website, and I think over time things have evolved. People have websites, people have newsletters that they write, which I think is amazing. Actually helps you garner your own community directly. So that's definitely something I encourage you guys to do. You can literally make a website, you can just create a portfolio, just a personal proposition of yourself that no one can take away from you. Of course, the CV is one thing, but if you met someone across the world, like you were on holiday and you were speaking to someone and they asked what do you do and they want to connect, how could they connect with you? You wouldn't necessarily give them your CV. It's where your website comes into play, and it's really important because you can be like, oh, this is my website, let's keep in touch. Especially if you don't want to give your personal number. It's just a nice professional way just to share details and share who you are. It's something to take on board. Next is of course your social media channel. So I think this one is quite sensitive, and I'm gonna be honest about it. I think social media is so important, specifically if you are trying to build a personal brand. But that's why point one is so important, that you need to be clear on what your unique proposition is. If you want to get a 9-to-5 and work for specific types of retailers, your social media is important. Of course, you don't want to be putting anything derogatory out there that doesn't represent the company that you want to work for. And that's where you need to be super tight and clear in terms of how you want to use your social media. If you want to use a social media account to be personal, put family, put pictures, that's where you make it a private account so people doesn't have access to that. If you want to build a personal brand, you do need to have an Instagram profile that is public so people can see you, people can connect with you, and people can see the content of you and what you enjoy. And then you also need to make a decision in terms of what content are you comfortable putting out there. Anyone saw it, you wouldn't really care what they think, or you're actually trying to tell a story for people to connect to. And I do think we're in a day where we need to be really cognizant of the purpose of why you're using social media, specifically as a marketer if you want to get into the industry and build your personal brand. I think gone are the days where I feel like, of course you can share some personal moments, but let's say if you went out on a night out and you got super drunk, that's not something you want to be splashed out on your social media page, right? So we just have to use a bit of common sense here and just figure out, how do you want to use your social media platform? Do you want to talk about, things in marketing that you really enjoy? Do you want to be quite transparent in your journey and showcase that? And then just talk about yourself, a student. So it really doesn't matter. I think what does matter is you need to be clear and consistent. It leads to my next point about being consistent on social media channels. which is a hard one because I still struggle with that myself. So it's an ongoing journey for us all. I'm not here to judge and tell you to do something because I'm also trying to do it myself. But it's figuring out what platforms you want to use and how you want to be proactive in it. And the two channels that I really want to be proactive in is YouTube and Instagram. TikTok is another channel, but look, I'm just one man, okay? So I need to figure out how I'm gonna manage this, and that way you have a timetable and figure out what your content strategy plan is, so then you can actually plan and be consistent. So yeah, I'm not really the creme de la creme idol to be following, but I'm sharing this advice because I know it's true and it's something I also need to get better at. So maybe it's something we should probably work on and get better at together, right? But choosing the channels that you want to be proactive on, invest, create content and post, and then the other channels that you just want to be more reactive on. So for example, I also have a Snapchat account, but I'm not necessarily proactive on that channel, I'm more reactive. I actually focus on putting content consistently on Instagram, but of course if there's anything in my camera roll, I will also upload it to Snapchat, but it's not my first thought of a channel to go to. So again, it's being cognizant of the decision you make in terms of what channels you want to be consistent on. Specifically when you go on a community, you want to keep them engaged, you want to keep them entertained and keep them informed. But then if you are inconsistent, they will probably drop off and go to someone else because there's someone else out there that is probably more consistent than you. So please do keep that in mind. Be clear in terms of what consistency looks like for you in your life, and I would definitely encourage that. So when it comes to having social channels, make sure that you're creating valuable content. Even for myself, starting this channel, I started talking about my career and how I started. So for me, valuable content looks like sharing my experiences as a marketer, sharing tips as a marketer, life lessons as a marketer and learnings, and also just kind of taking you guys on the journey in the day in the life. So that is my element of valuable content that I want to give you guys. So you also need to kind of think about in terms of where you are in your career and what do you think is valuable that you can give others that they can learn from, they can be entertained, they can be informed, and also build a community, because all of us need a community. Look, it's not about doing life alone, whether that's personally or professionally. You're always going to be a part of a community, whether that's your job, your family, spouse. So it's all integrated, and I think it's so important that we lean into that instead of moving away from that. So really think about what is the valuable pieces of content that you want to share. And sometimes as well, don't be afraid to ask others to get their opinions, especially if you're not sure and you're umming and ahhing and you just want to get a general consensus of what people want. Don't be afraid to ask, put the question on your social channels and see what people respond to. But just make sure that you are comfortable with your decision, because of course this is your platform, so you need to be happy with the content that you are putting out there. And get as many opinions as you want. At the end of the day, you need to be happy with the content that you are putting out there and deciding to create, because it's your time and it's your investment that you're making. And that really sets you apart when you are building your personal brand, when people know that this is the content that you share, this is the sort of content that you put out, this is how creative you are, and it's in your style and it's in your tone, and you're not doing it just to copy anyone else. One key thing I would say when it comes to talking about, you know, sharing valuable content on your channels or your website. The next one is a natural fit, and it's all about networking and engaging with your community. So a key one, which I always say, always attend industry events. You finish university, you just like graduated, you're trying to get your feet wet, you don't know where to start, you've gone on LinkedIn, there's 100 jobs, you've applied to them all and you're waiting. It really feels tedious, it feels like you're just trying, putting in a lot of effort, and it probably feels exhausting. But that's where you need to be like creative and put yourself out there. And there's no harm in stepping outside and go into an event. And don't be afraid to go to an event on your own. It's the best way to network, and you have to think when you're looking for a job, you're meeting people face to face, but networking is such a nice way to introduce yourself to people and collate your own contact list. And don't be afraid to try to make new friends and offer your services, even if it's just like an internship. If you go to an event, you see someone that you're really inspired by and you want to learn from, there's no harm in going up to them and asking, I really love what you do, I'd love to learn from you. Great to exchange contact details, so you know, if there's any opportunities, I could be a part of it. Honestly, you meet people that are senior and they see someone hungry, that's someone that's keen and willing to give their time to learn. Say no now, that doesn't mean no forever. And specifically if they've met you face to face, you follow up with an email, they're more than likely to respond to you, because now they feel like they know you, not in a deep way, but because they've seen your face and know who you are and can probably remember. It's a nice way to start off a conversation and start actually building a network. The first thing I would encourage you guys to do, go on different social channels such as Instagram, TikTok, and find out events. Utilize LinkedIn. Follow different community groups as well, because there's so many out there working to students or people that's like graduated, specifically HR platforms as well. They always put together events, so you have to be consistent in terms of looking and not waiting for the moment where you see someone else attend something and that's like, oh, like how did you find out about that? Like, you have to do the hard graft of looking, searching, following what's happening in the industry, because that's how you know. You have to remember that it's not like we work in marketing, which is the behind the scenes of the creative industry. So a lot of it is put together behind the scenes and then it's put out after, but that's why you need to get stuck in there and find out where's these events, where's it happening. And I'll attach a couple links as well so you guys can check it out for yourself. Attending events, a natural fit is joining professional groups, Facebook, LinkedIn as well, but also with the likes of Instagram and TikTok. There's so many different people who've actually built community groups because they felt there was a gap in the market, and it's so important to research those different groups and stay connected as well. I will also create a link. I'm based in the UK, so I can share stuff that is in the UK and some in the US that I'm familiar with, but community groups all around the world. So please do not limit yourself and making sure that you're actively joining groups and professional networks so you can stay up to date in terms of recruitment, training, learning, workshops, and networking opportunities. Additionally, regularly engage in social media. So if you are on LinkedIn and you're following different marketing managers that maybe you like their role, you like what they do, you like the work that they put out there, please do not be afraid to comment and say that you like it, you like the work that they're doing. That's how you actually start to build a rapport with people online, so they can see, oh, okay, this person is always really engaged with my stuff. So they message you, it wouldn't be too far removed. Don't underestimate the importance of engaging with communities and networks that you find really cool, you're really interested in, you're inspired. So then when you are ready, you can reach out and actually ask a question and it won't feel too scary. It might still be scary, but just don't be afraid, just like go for it. The last point is actually all about building relationships, and building relationships, whether that's with influencers or mentors. Marketing today really leans on influencers, whether that's influencers from a content creation point of view or influencers as a tastemaker and a spokesperson and a thought leader within the industry. It's important that you have your own relationships with influencers within the marketing space, because it makes ideas off and actually can help you, whether that's you looking for a job, they can also point you in the right direction. If you are going through an interview, they can also help you and give you inside scoop and insight. That can be a great value add. A big part of marketing is working with content creations, because content is actually pushing a lot of campaigns for brands today. So the fact that you have personal relationships with influencers is a great value add. The time in marketing, we pay agencies to utilize their influencer roster. But if you have a direct relationship with influencers yourself, you're actually doing your company a favor, because you're cutting out the middleman and you actually have a great expertise to add to the list yourself. So underestimate, by building relationships with people such as influencers who create content for brands, specifically brands that you want to work for, but also influencers that are tastemakers in the industry, that are public speakers in the industry, and that are also thought leaders in the industry, because they can actually be positioned as mentors for you. That's people that you can also learn from, and that's also people that actually can help you as you go on your journey, as you try to establish where you want to work. You can ask them questions and also learn from them. When it comes to personal branding, I definitely think this is something that we all should be taking really seriously. So you've got to think, your career is a long career. Be here for the long haul. Building a personal brand is everything, because it's all about reputation. People will always remember how you made them feel and their experiences is like when they engage with you. And having a key personal brand will actually help you stand out. People will know you for a certain skill set or expertise. Time to build your own community. which will help you as you get more senior and as you climb the ladder. So I want to do like a quick video on personal branding because we're in 2024, everyone has their own platform. Social media is pushing everyone to be content creators, but it's actually up to you how you want to use it. Specifically as a marketer, it will help you, as I mentioned before, if you want to start your own business and actually find your own clients, if you want to work in a company and actually find the right employer that you want to work for, or you're a freelancer and you actually want to work with different freelancers and actually partner up. Underestimate the power of building your own personal brand, whether that's on your Instagram page, building a website, even having your own newsletter, and just talking about something in marketing that is important to you or you think is interesting, because most likely there is also someone else that is interested in the same thing, and that's how you automatically build a connection and garner your own community. Now I've done over the years, and that's what Life of a Marketing Girl has been like for me. So events in person, having this and actually speaking to you online is another element to engage and build a community. And when you build your personal brand, because this is something you'll be known for, respected for, but also, you know, remembered for. So you take your personal brand seriously, identify your unique proposition, have your platform where you showcase your content, make sure you engage with others in the community as well, making sure you are attending events and meeting people, don't be scared. Last but not least, make the effort to build relationships with influencers and tastemakers in the industry, because that could become a future colleague, client, or a future partner that you will work with long term. So honestly, the opportunities are endless, specifically if you're not afraid to put yourself out there. Start now, because there's no going back. It's only going forward. Build your personal brand and start to really take your career in your own hands, because it's actually up to you. I hope you found this video helpful. Make sure you like and subscribe and get ready for the next video.